Check 1 2 check. Yeah, that's
your
working.
voice warmed up. That's the worst thing about doing that early.
Yeah, well, I usually get up and take a hot shower, and then like I'll like sing in the shower, wake everybody up.
What's your go-to song?
Man, I've got a whole playlist called lung stretching.
The long stretching.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's like there's a few songs. Man, let's run through it. I'm like very proud of this little list.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
You can tell a lot about a person by what they sing in the shower.
Oh yeah, it's Raining Men.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Diddy is now singing that.
Yeah, it is.
The man is cooked.
Oh, it's Top of Your Lungs. That's what I call it.
Nice.
Pine Grove.
Okay.
Like the metronome, and then I do Margaret and the Nuclear So-and-So's As Tall as Cliffs.
Okay.
Pedro the Lion. Postal Service, obviously. Into It, Over It. Local Natives. Hot Mulligan. Tiger's Jaw. And Manchester Orchestra. You know, just some old emo shit.
Just some old emo stuff, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I usually do like Steve Winwood's Higher Love. That's a good
Ooh,
one.
that is a good one.
Bring me to higher love. Oh.
Don't fuck around. We're going to start another band.
Yeah.
Sons
dude,
of Beatrice and Aliens vs. Robots back again, baby.
Oh, man. The comeback the world didn't know they needed.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes you got to show them. Sometimes you got to show them. All right, guys. Hey, welcome to Rhythm Wit. I'm Nick Campbell. I'm here with my good buddy, David Steele, and we are also here with JJ Wood, comedian, podcaster, producer, and musician. Guys, welcome JJ Wood.
Hey.
We did it, guys. We did
Which
full
camera
circle.
am I looking at? That one?
Yeah, that's yours.
That's my camera. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. How you doing, man?
I'm good, dude.
You doing good?
Good.
You always look good. I love your positive attitude.
Thanks,
I
man.
always have enjoyed that.
I try to keep it going as much as I can. you know?
Hell yeah.
I loved like your attitude when you like came in today. You're just like, I just did a 3-hour show last night, and I'm here at 9 o'clock in the morning to do this
Yeah,
podcast.
dude.
You're like, let's go, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah, that's not me. That's the coffee. That was.
Yeah.
it's
You're like, you're
Folgers,
ready
baby.
to go. You came
Yeah.
out with the yellow legal pad paper
Yeah.
of questions.
If it makes you feel better, I put this together 10 minutes before I got
Yeah.
here.
That's what's up, dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of podcasts that I've done, like I've had like a list of like, hey, this is what we're gonna talk about, and then it just goes
Right.
like the whole different way. That's how it was with like Cody Troutman.
Oh yeah.
I had like we didn't
Yeah,
get
a lot
into
of
any
stuff.
almost like any of the questions that I wanted to do because he just went off and it was just so much fun though.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the best way to go
Yeah.
about it.
Oh, he's
That's-
full of knowledge too. Like
Yeah.
he's
So
got
much
tidbits.
knowledge.
Yeah, he's so focused too. For being such a goofy bastard. He's like, and a sweet boy. He's a
I love
sweet
that
boy.
dude. I love that dude.
Yeah, man, we've known each other for a long time. I kind of wanted to get into that a little bit, kind of your history. I think when did you move here?
I moved to Oklahoma City in 2009.
2009.
Right.
What prompted the move?
I was sex trafficked by Diddy.
Oh,
How
were
about
you really? Damn, you got out.
I got out, bro.
You got out.
I wasn't that talented, I guess. They saw no potential in me, bro.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad that you got free. I'm glad you're here with us, man.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
So, but yeah, you just came out on a lark. You're like, Oklahoma's the place to make
Yeah,
it.
man. I think like my sister moved up here in like 2000, and then after I graduated high school, my mom was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave Ruidoso too," and then so she left, and I was like stuck back for a couple years, and I was like, you know what, man, like I kind of need something different too. So then I just moved out here, and it was cool, man. At first, I did not like it.
Yeah.
I would say that because I moved here and I was like, God, there's like so many people here. Like traffic is crazy.
Yeah.
And then like I stayed here for about 4.5 years, and then I moved to New York City, and I was like, oh my God, there's even more people here.
Yeah, I forgot you
What?
went to New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. No, I remember when you did that. I was like, that guy's brave as hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What,
a while
what
back.
age were you?
So brave. I was so brave.
Yeah. Well,
So brave.
that's brave for somebody in Oklahoma.
was
yeah.
resilient.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, that guy's gonna make it.
Yeah. I didn't.
Well, here he is.
You
You've
went
been-
out there to
it's
play
good to see you
music,
back.
didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I had the dream of being a
Yeah.
white reggae singer in New York City, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Nice.
But it was cool, dude. Like, a lot of good experiences there. But I think like New York, like I wasn't mature enough to live there at the time. Like, I was still in, like, a party phase.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
like, not really the place to do that. You know, like,
Did
especially
you
when
recorded
you're
a whole
kinda
album there though,
I
right?
did.
Yeah.
Yep.
That took
Yep.
some work, right?
I did. Yep.
Did you do the open mics there? Did you get
Oh,
shows?
yeah. Yeah,
and-
no, I did. I had
Yeah.
a bunch, did a bunch of different open mics. I ran one for a second as
Oh,
well up
nice.
there. Yep, up in Astoria. And then, yeah, I mean, I did some shows here and there. Like, I did a fashion show in Brooklyn.
Huh.
That was a wild
Like you were in it?
experience. No, like I
You
performed
were-
in it.
Yeah, okay.
And that was one of the most like intense situations. So like it was in Brownsville, Brooklyn, which is like not gentrified.
Mm.
Okay.
That's just the best way to put it. You know, it was very, very like dangerous in that
Yeah,
neighborhood.
yeah.
And so one of my friends, like, she met me there, and then she texted me. She's like, "Get here now." She's like, "We are the only white people here." And I'm like, "Oh, sick!" I was like, "I'm gonna thrive." baby." And I walked up, and it was like all these dudes are like chilling in front of the bar. And I walk up, I got my guitar case, I got my backpack, and I'm like, "Hi guys, how's it going?" And they're like, "Oh hell no, dude!" And they just like started going through my shit, they're patting me down,
Oh,
like
really?
opening my guitar case and stuff. Like, "All right, you're good."
Mhm.
And then like the bar owner comes up, he goes, "Hey, what's up, man? I'm trying to get more people in here. Can you help me out with that?" I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
But good times,
So he had you like going out and barking and trying to get people in.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was not the neighborhood for me to do that in by any means, you know.
Oh, look, a Target.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, not the superstore, dude.
Well, you survived, obviously.
did.
Yeah, and we're so the music thing. You kind of stepped away from it though. What made you do that?
Man, I think for a while, when I moved back, I was, playing bar gigs and hotel gigs and stuff. And with those, like, you got to play, like, 3-hour sets.
Mhm.
And with that, like, you got to play a lot of covers and stuff. And which are fun. It's fun to do.
Yeah.
But for me, I've always wanted to, like, do my stuff.
Yeah.
Like, tell, like, my story. Sing
Mhm.
my songs that I wrote. And you can throw those in through those sets.
Right.
But people want to hear Wagon Wheel. They want to hear Tyler Childers. They want to hear this stuff, and you're just like, damn. And so some of the gigs that I was playing, I was like using like a loop station as well. So
Oh,
I was
nice.
like very proud of like, yeah, I like made the beat on my guitar.
Hell
I like
yeah. So you did
I made
live.
this, yeah, So I made this like whole beat, and then I'm like, man, I really crushed that, and I get done with the song, and then no one's paying attention. There's people at the hotel bar just sitting there with their headphones in,
Yeah,
just like
trying to
going
ignore
away at
you.
their computer, and I'm like, fuck. And then they walk up to you with like a $20 bill, like, good job, young man. It's like I felt like a prostitute, like.
Which that really set you up to be a comedian. I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. So then at a certain point, I was just like, man, like I had kind of dabbled with comedy at that point. Like when I lived in New York, I worked with a lot of aspiring comedians, and then just like fucking around, just as I have always done. They're like, dude, that's so funny. Can we use that in one of our jokes? I'm like, yeah, dude, go ahead and do that. Yeah, dude, go ahead and do that. And eventually I was like, I'm going to start writing my own jokes. So I was writing jokes when I lived in New York. But then when I moved back here, I was, hanging out at JJ's Alley a lot. And then people
Yeah.
like Lenny Van Horn and Greg Thomas, Zach Ishikawa and stuff there, Justin Keithley, they were like, dude, you should like come up to
Because
the
you were
open mic
playing
and do comedy.
You were doing music there,
Mhm.
right? For open
Right.
mic.
And they're like, you should come do comedy. And
Yeah.
I was like, bet. So I started doing that, and then I just fucked around with it for a couple years. I started in like 2016.
Yeah.
And I just kind of just like fucked around, but I wasn't taking it seriously.
Mm.
I was just doing like the Tapworks open mic and
Yeah.
JJ's Alley.
And it seems like back then it wasn't like it is today, right? Like with
Right.
all the different mics. I mean, I've felt like there's always been a ton more people these days than there was even back when we were playing music and coming up. I mean, it seemed like there was like Karen Buckholtz and James Nim and them and Brad Chad that had been doing it, but since back then. But that was really it. There was like that small crew. I think comedy's definitely come up a lot since.
Oh,
then.
absolutely. Well, and then it got to the point where I was just like, yeah, I'm just having fun with it. And then Lenny was like, why don't you go to the Looney Bin and then see how you feel?
Yeah.
So I went to the Looney Bin in 2019, and I did a set there, and it went so well that I was like, oh my God. I was like, all right, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do comedy. Or I was like, I don't want to do music anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna stick
Oh,
with comedy.
yeah.
And then I started getting booked more
Mm-hmm.
as a comedian. Started finding more success as a comedian.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of hard to find success as a reggae singer in Oklahoma.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you were really good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, dude, we had a lot of fun. I don't
Oh,
know
dude.
if you remember.
Oh man,
Yeah.
some of those things.
That when we play at the high-low and then just walk out into the crowd, because that stage was just behind those two walls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then you roll out and you just be playing in front of people.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I missed the high-lows
Yeah.
so
I do
much,
too.
dude. I remember when I first turned 21. My drummer Kent.
Yeah,
I remember
he
Kent.
used to hang out there a lot.
I just turned 21, dude. Like, I didn't know bar etiquette, dude.
Yeah.
I'm from, like, a fucking small mountain town in New Mexico, dude. No idea what life was.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude's like, I'm going to take you to this really cool spot that we're going to start playing at. And takes me to the high-low on a Saturday night. We walk in, and I'm like, cool. And he goes, hey, I'll be back in, like, 45 minutes. I got to go pick up my girlfriend. And just left me by myself.
That
And I
sounds
was
like
like,
Kent.
and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then, like, I kind of, like, ran into some people that I kind of knew, and I was like, hey, like, it ended up being really cool, man. Like, and high-low was one of those places, dude, that you could walk in there and still feel just, like,
Yeah.
you weren't going to be alone.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Someone was going to come up and talk to you eventually, and you were going to make a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I miss
Proximity
about that place.
alone. I mean, there was no
Right.
space to move. Like,
Yeah.
For sure.
we were going to make a friend.
Yeah, there's no windows. They had 2 TVs.
Yeah. That's so true. I was a very friendly drunk. I don't know if you remember, but I would black out on occasion, and I would just stand at the front of the door with the guy who would like have the
Yeah.
license, and everybody who came in also got a hug. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
love
man.
that.
It wasn't the wisest thing to do, probably, but I was just
Yeah.
like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm Nick. Welcome to Hilo." It's like, "Who are you?" I was like, "I'm just a guy.
I'm just a guy.
needs a hug."
Had a few Happy Meals, bro. We're good.
Yeah, dude. But no, it was good. I miss that place a lot. Or that type of, well, I mean, the punk mentality back then, where it was just like all you could do is just
I
make
feel
a
like
poster,
That place
Right.
was,
and then go out and try to do a show. you
Right.
know?
that place was always to me like this place where all these like the weirdos and the kind of, in a good way, as far as like the people I wanted to be around.
Right.
It's like the creative people, the bohemian types, all these, artists and stuff. And I think it was just always the most interesting people to hang out with. And they're always very friendly. Like you said, they would come up and, start a conversation. You would not sit there, if you went there alone, you would not be alone for very long.
Right. Exactly.
So what happened? Did Kent ever come back, or? It's like, and I've
He
been
did.
alone ever
Yeah,
since.
right.
and he never came back.
Yeah, missed that dude.
Yeah. No, he did come back, and it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I had a good time that night, and then shit, dude. I met you guys at Midtown
Midtown?
Deli,
Yeah.
dude. Which was now, what is that, Stella now?
Oh, yeah.
what is that place
Yeah,
down
I think
called?
it's Stella. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over on like 10th over by McNally's.
Yeah.
That's where it
Yeah.
is.
Over in the Midtown area.
Mhm.
Man, I was thinking about this story this morning, though. And this was, oh my God, it was so funny. Your CD release show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was at Blue Note.
Yeah.
Right? Was it Conspiracies of Angels opened
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
Because they hosted that mic.
They did.
Too,
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. And you guys are playing. Joey Stone comes up to me. You guys remember Joey
Yeah.
Stone?
Oh yeah.
R.I.P.
dude.
Rest,
Yeah, dude.
Rest in peace, my man.
Yeah.
But
Our biggest fan.
So-
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
he really
Yeah.
was.
he showed up with his girlfriend at the time,
Yeah.
tripping balls, bro.
I think I remember that.
And he comes
got a
up to me,
sub-story to this.
and he was just like, "Bro, those dudes' music, me and my girlfriend want to go fuck in the bathroom." And I was like,
Damn.
that is so epic. You know what? So if anything else, with Aliens versus Robots,
Oh god.
cool, there was no Grammys,
Right.
nothing. Whatever, dude. That doesn't matter.
That was all the reward.
Some people were tripping balls
Here's
at a
the
dive bar in Oklahoma City and went to your CD release show and fornicated in that bathroom.
I got a side story that's really, I didn't even know that.
Yes.
So Joey's girl at the time, like we got off and we did really good that night. It was nuts.
Yeah,
I actually that's where Liz saw me for the first time, and and like this is why I say this. It's like you're one of the reasons why me and my wife are together.
Used to hang out at Midtown Deli, right?
Yeah, she hung out at Midtown Deli. She also like worked with one of your friends that was going to come see the show, so she like invited her, and then they came out, and then they saw us, and then I did that joke where I was like, if I sell all these EPs tonight, I'm taking off my clothes. And my mom was sitting there with all the EPs.
Oh, shit.
And she was like, that's my baby. And so Liz was like, if your mom loves you that much, you're a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And so she was like, I wanted to see who he is. But this is before me and Liz were together, you know? So so I get off the stage. I'm like, we did killer. I'm amazing, you know? Like,
right.
And I went over, and I didn't notice that Joey Stone, that was his girlfriend. Right? So I went over, and she was like looking at, you know, giving me the eyes, like looking, you know. I was like, all right, what up? Let's go shoot a shot, you know. And I went over, kind of, it's like, hey man, and I whispered, and she's like, hey, you look really good. Do you want to like grab a drink? And she just like giggled, like, you know. I was like, all right. I'm gonna go over here. I didn't realize she was high as fuck.
Yeah, dude. Now it clicks in place.
Yeah, I was like, okay, all right, that was manufactured. Okay, good. Go, Joey.
Oh, man.
No, he would like dance really hard. He knew all our songs. He invited me over to like jam with him over stuff. Yeah, he was a really good musician.
Dude, he was a fun dude to hang out with, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a lot of wild stories with that dude, man. Yeah, I remember, goddamn, dude, this was so crazy. I was introducing him to another bass player. He needed a bass player for his band. And he goes, well, can that dude party? And I was like, I don't know, man, but we'll find out. So we decided, we're like, hey,
Give him a test
I'm going to introduce you. And like Joey was a big partier.
Yeah,
you know
he
what I mean?
was.
That dude could throw down. So we go in with the OG Four Locos, bro.
Hell yeah.
So we go into this dude's apartment, and like this poor dude, bless his heart, man. He was like drinking like Ciroc Orange by himself in that apartment. So he was already kind of drunk. And Joey's like, "What's up, man? All right, initiation. We're gonna see who could drink the Four Loko the fastest." Right? So we're going. This kid is like, he gets like a sip in. He's like, ugh. I'm just like basically dies. I got like halfway through. Joey, who's like, you know, big ex-football player and shit, just slams his shit down and goes, yeah. And I was like, all right. I was like, I'm the only one that didn't throw up, dude.
Yeah, you won, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what you won, but you won it.
I'm alive.
Another Four Loko?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
God, those OG Four Locos, bro.
Yeah, they were the real deal, man. That was the heart killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could party for a long time. It was I think that was the drink after Jaeger bombs. You know, like Jaeger bombs were that for us whenever we were younger.
Yeah, it was like that Red Bull and whatever.
Be up till like 6 o'clock in the morning, going like, "Why can't I sleep?" And it's like, "Well, you had 4 Red Bulls, dude." Like, yeah,
I can't do that.
Surprise you're not at all. Not with these eating habits. But yeah, man. So you did music for a long time. You made the switch. Do you feel like what did you learn in music that's helped you or gave you kind of like a foothold or like kind of a little bit of an advantage doing comedy?
Mic control.
Nice.
One. That's a good
true.
one. I think there's like a lot of comics that they don't really know how to hold the microphone
Or
like
just how to like.
you know, still many people want to like just like
Right.
cut the thing, and it's like, stop it.
Yeah.
That also just, I don't know, just being comfortable on stage, having like a stage presence. Like, I grew up doing like musical theater and shit like my whole life, so like I've never had a problem
Never
with
had
stage
like
fright.
like nerves and
No,
stuff.
no. I mean, I'll still get like nerves and stuff like that, but
Just
definitely
not
like
more so than just not wanting to fuck up, probably.
right. But it's like it's really easy. Like I'm really into like meditation and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So like nice like breathing exercises and stuff like that. Like right before I go on, like really just kind of like centers me. But yeah, so I mean, just crowd control as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, did you when you played music? I mean in between songs you'd have something to say or
Yeah,
jokes? You know,
yeah,
after
as
a while
most-
you kind of
As most bands do. You know what I mean?
get a little bit of banter going.
yeah.
You should anyway. That's the thing is I've seen tons of bands that don't do that, and you're like, okay, and, you know, it's like they're just quiet in between songs.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
Imagine going to see imagine go seeing like Under Oath or something like that, and they said not one joke throughout that entire show. Like, what the fuck.
And being disappointed.
Yeah, I came here to watch Avenged Sevenfold, and they never said one funny thing. Not once. I did not enjoy that concert. I would have rather heard Backcountry a million times.
Well, that's because their music is a joke. All right, here we go.
I love Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, my bad, dude. My bad. I meant Ben Folds. Sorry.
That dude sucks. I'm just kidding.
Rocking the suburbs. All right. So where were we? Yeah, man. So doing the music, doing comedy. I'm sure, unlike music, where you're like, okay, I'm going to prepare at home. I'm going to practice at home. I'm going to be here. And then you go take it out to an open mic.
Right.
And then, for the most part, you can kind of gauge a reaction of what you're going to get. Comedy's way different.
Yeah.
You got to take it. You go, I don't know if this is funny. Let me go see if it's funny. And then you got to either it is funny and you try it like 10 times to find that out and 7 times it works, or you go up and you eat a bag of dicks. What was the transition there? Like when you went up for the first expectation, you're like, all right.
Yeah.
Man, the first like couple times I did comedy, like at an open mic, I did pretty good.
Nice.
And then I just sucked for a very long time after that.
Yeah.
But
Did anybody tell you that was part of the process?
no.
So you just see, that's the hard part for
Yeah.
me. You just were like, all right, man, let's keep rolling. Let's keep grinding this out.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point now though to where like I don't care if I bomb at an open mic. That's what open mics are for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've always said they've always said like a strong bomb is better than a weak kill. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
when I
if
go
you're
and
like-
if I bomb at an open mic doing a new joke that I'm like, oh, let's just see if this works, and it doesn't work, I'm like, all right. I'm
Yeah.
like, it doesn't like bug me as much as it used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that just kind of goes with like time.
But yeah, I
You know
think
what I
it is,
mean?
and like you said, the expectation. I think if you go up to do a show and you bomb, that's like bad because it's like you should been preparing and you're not wanting to try out new stuff at a show.
Right,
You
yeah.
use the
Bro.
stuff that works.
There is
So,
nothing worse
Yeah.
than bombing like a show. I remember the
Right.
first time I went to the Tulsa Bricktown.
Oh yeah.
I had a stressful travel day, so I was already a little stressed.
Mhm.
I was running like late on my terms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I like to get there like an
Right.
hour early. So I'm just like a little like discombobulated a little bit, but like finally like, cool, all right, I'm ready to go. And I get up on stage and the set's like going decently, and I'm like, you know what? I've been doing this 4-minute bit at this
Yeah.
open mic that's been crushing for the last couple weeks. Let's bust this out.
Yeah.
And it sucked. Like it did not, and I was like, oh my god.
4
And I didn't know
minutes.
how to like get out of it, so I was like, I just got to continue on with this
Yeah.
story, dude.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
the longest 4 minutes of my life, dude. I was like, oh my god, this is awful. Like, but then you look at it, like everyone still bombs. I
Yeah.
watched Sam
Yeah.
Morril bomb on
Yeah.
like not like the entire show.
Right.
But, like, I've
certain
watched-
bits don't
Yeah,
work.
he's like, oh, all right, cool, that didn't work, and then it's like, it doesn't really phase him as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I like going. That was almost bad. That's why I like going to the shows at the comedy club and watching these people, because a lot of the times these headliners, like, they don't really go to
Yeah.
open mics. They're going
Yeah.
like they're busting out their notebook on stage. I'm like, well, let's just figure this out. Namish Patel, I went and watched him. That dude's like, yeah, guys, like, I just found out, like, 3 days ago I'm doing a Netflix special, so I'm gonna start. And I'm like watching him like kind of go through his notes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing.
That's cool.
I'm not seeing this guy like structured. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing like this well polished set. I'm watching, like, I'm looking at the skeleton of
Yeah,
this
the
thing.
process
Oh my god,
being
and that
built.
is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And that's like, and when you like watch that enough, eventually you're like, it's okay. Like I don't. That's why like I don't feel as bad when I bomb anymore.
Yeah, well, you can
Nice.
compartmentalize it a little bit now. Once you've done a few of them, and you're like, okay, like there's different versions of kind of bombing. Like you get this
Right.
joke bombed, but
Right.
the rest of the set was
Yeah.
good.
that's
Yeah.
like the
You know,
Yeah.
or like a show sets you up for like a perfect situation, but an open mic sometimes you can't even trust the bomb. You know, you're like,
Right.
all right, well, let me
Yeah,
try
that's
again
true.
and see if this is really not doing well.
Yeah, that's
Right,
right. You
you
have
know.
to do it in front of lots of different audiences because you could do a joke that is probably a good joke, but nobody laughs because that audience just doesn't like that material or whatever that subject is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
or that
don't
night
care.
was off and everybody was
Right.
just quiet, or
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
Diddy got incarcerated, so
Yeah.
everybody sat.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, that's definitely. I thought it was interesting watching people, the like the headliners at Blue Whale, and like Jeffrey Asmus is that his name?
That dude.
Yeah.
He like a lot of his style is very, he knows like he's probably not gonna hit every joke, I think, so it's like, but he was bombing a lot of jokes because it was like, you know, he was trying stuff out and seeing if it would work on the crowd, and they hated it, so it's like whatever. But you could see him like get hit with these like kind of disappointment when a joke didn't work, but then he would just wipe it off and go to the next one. You know?
Or he had a save.
Yeah,
he would
yeah,
have something
too.
that he would
and
say.
And he would
that
like make fun
with
of the situation even, and it's like, well, that didn't work, you know. And it's like, I think that's the best thing to do in those situations is just keep rolling with the, you know, whatever happens.
Well, and a lot of the times, like some of these headliners that come through, like they have their core audience that's gonna laugh at just anything that they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's true.
And that's why. So like, it's September. So last month I did a show back in Rudo. So it was a benefit show.
Yeah.
Just trying to help the town recover from the big fires and stuff. But it was the first time I did like a 45-minute set, and there's over 200 people there that came to see me, and I'm like, so cool.
Family and friends.
That they were gonna laugh at anything. I could have like bent over and tied my shoe, and they would be like, "Oh, he's so funny. He doesn't know about the bunny ear method." But I was like, okay, cool. So now I have this tape that I go back and I watch just about every day. Of like, okay, this joke kind of fell flat a little bit. How can I make that better? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just it's just kind of nice to have.
Yeah.
Like you can gauge like those big crowds like that.
That's nice, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does.
Okay.
It makes
Definitely,
complete sense.
because you can't.
Coffee hasn't like kicked in on me yet, dude. Like,
yeah, no, that's cool because you don't get those opportunities to even do that very often for that large of a crowd, and like, so it's definitely important to have that kind of reference to look at.
Well, even on the rough nights, like even on nights like you know, you've been to Bricktown where you've got like a decent sized crowd, you know, 30 to 40 people,
right?
But nobody's laughing.
Yeah,
it's just a tough night.
Yeah,
and so you get up there and then you work your jokes and then you only get a few laughs and you're like, oh, that's where the strong parts are,
right?
And then so it shows you where you're strong and where you're weak on those nights. So it's all data collecting.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Oh yeah,
it's all just like, okay, well, this works here, this works with this person. I can talk to this person when this happens.
That's always what I think. I mean, it's so weird because I've been thinking about magic a lot. Not that, you know, in the different
Like Magic the Gathering,
doing magician like John Shack magic, like like on stage magic. And comedy, because there's so many similarities to those in weird ways, but magic is very much like this. You have to, when you go up to someone to do a trick, you have to kind of go through your head like, what is gonna work on this person, you know?
Right.
And it's the same thing with comedy. You know, I think you have to you can't just tell one joke to 100 people. You know, it's like you have to tell 100 different jokes to 100 different people, almost. And and it takes so long to get to that point to where you can figure that out in the fly, you know.
Right.
And you just have to do it for years and years and do it in front of hundreds of people or thousands of people, you know.
Right. And it's
figure
weird.
it out.
It's like sometimes like you like. For the longest time, I was always like, I'm not going to blame the crowd. Like, I want to be able to make every crowd laugh. And sometimes it's just not it.
Yeah.
Dude, I was hosting this hot wings eating contest last night.
Oh, nice.
Bro, and like, so in between, like, while they're like eating the wings, they have like a minute to eat these wings. I was like, I'm just going to fuck with the crowd a little bit, you know, and just like kind of like, hey, how are y'all doing? You know, just do like hosting shit. And I looked over at this dude. I was like, what's up, bro? What's your name? He goes, I was like, you don't know what your name is? He goes, and I was like, all right, that's one way to tell us that you got warrants. But it's, sometimes like people are weird and they just like don't like want to engage.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just kind of move. I did that. There was like two older people up front, you know. There's like, you know, it's like probably 60s, 70s. And they were sitting there, and they weren't together, but they were, you know, and they were right up front. It was during an open mic, which is super weird. But I was like, hey, you know, I was doing a joke, and I basically was going to call them deviants, you know, and so I was like, hey, what year, to the woman, I was like, what year did you graduate high school? She's like, I don't know if I really want to say that. I was like, that's cool, sir. And like you just make that little transition, and then like we had fun, and I was like, see, you could have had fun too, but you didn't want to say anything.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, just play with. I mean, it's just like talking, having a conversation with people.
Yeah.
you know?
That's all it is. And
It
that's all like
is.
really comedy.
That's what you told me when we first started.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
just have a conversation, dude.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Well, and that's something that I still like struggle with some days. Is like when I'm on stage, not feeling like I'm reciting lines.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're not making like the audience feel like I'm just reciting lines. You know what I mean? Like they want to have a conversation. You want to make it like they're having a conversation with a fucking lunatic, and that lunatic is me.
Yeah.
you know?
yeah, I like that.
And so I mean, it's like Cat Williams has said. It's like people think that like, oh wow, he just came up with this like off the cuff. And sometimes like that does
Yeah.
happen. But he's like, no, he's like I've worked on that shit for
Right.
like 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've practiced
I
that to
think
like.
it's
You know, you get these sets down, like these 5-minute, 10-minute sets down, to where like you can just do them in your head. Like I have dreams of doing sets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is terrifying sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Are you in your underwear doing it?
no, but
Yeah.
Diddy's there.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, whenever you're doing sets in my head, you're in your underwear. All right.
Diddy's there. Drake's my cousin. I'm like, what is happening? I don't like this. I don't like this. I wake up and I call my friend. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
I had a dream that
Bro.
Drake is my cousin again. He goes, that's because people were getting shot outside your apartment again. I'm like, no! Why have you forsaken me?
I'm glad you're here, bud. I'm glad every day I see you. I'm like, oh, he's safe.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'm
it's
so brave.
So you say you work at the club. I mean, you've been able to get yourself into the club. You become kind of a regular there to open, and you put in the work. And so, what are some of your favorite comedians that you've had a chance to work with?
Kyle Kinane was dope.
Oh, sick!
He was a cool dude.
I saw that. That was a good show, man.
Yeah.
yeah. You did great.
Who else? Josh Blue was great. Pablo Francisco was cool too.
Yeah.
I-
He was one of my favorites back in the Comedy Central Presents days.
Yeah. No, it was really cool, man. Like, I mean, I spent like 4 nights with that dude.
Yeah.
And so like him and I would just have like really cool conversations in the back. We actually watched the Cat Williams Shannon Sharp interview.
Did you really?
together.
Nice.
That
Do you
was
guys like
fun.
run around, or you show them around town, or
It just kind
anything
of depends.
that?
Like sometimes, like a lot of the headliners just kind of like keep to themselves and hang out in the hotel room, or just kind of do their own thing.
That makes sense.
But sometimes they do. I mean, I haven't done any of that yet. Like hung out with them outside of the
Yeah.
club. But no, let's see who else. Dude, honestly, I haven't worked with anyone yet that I was like, oh, they sucked.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everyone that I've worked with so far has been
It's like-
super, super cool.
Yeah, it's like you
Yeah.
kind of have to be to get to that level. I think so in a lot of ways, it's like you can't really be. It's like being a good person or a nice person goes a long way. I think. I mean, that's kind of what almost necessary to be decent to people, and at least to. 'Cause I'm sure that's not always the case, but yeah, I think that's awesome.
It's always better to be a good coworker.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
it's like anytime I've met like a big celebrity. And granted, like there are some celebrities I've met that like, just fucking suck, you know. But you meet someone like, dude, I met the drummer of Shinedown. He was at my bar top one night,
Oh, yeah.
and super nice guy. But it was like when you meet these guys, you like feel this sense of like, wow, man, like this dude is living his dream. Like, this
Yeah.
dude dreamed
Yeah.
of being where he's at today, and it's like this dude succeeded. And then you could just feel the gratitude coming off of them. You know what I mean? Like they're just so calm and just like, hey man, like just really like grateful to be
Especially,
wherever,
yeah.
you know?
Especially because you knew who he was, so you went up and said, "Hey, I just wanted to say
Yeah.
you like his stuff or whatever." That's like what I think. I mean, I'm sure in all of our cases that may have happened a few times here and there when someone you don't know comes up and tells you how much they like your stuff or whatever.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
always a good feeling. I mean, that's all what we're always looking for, right?
It happens to me like it's been happening to me like a lot lately where people were like, hey man, like we saw you open up for
Yeah.
so and so, and I'm like, that's so cool, man, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
hey bro, you know where to get any weed?
Yeah.
I'm like, God,
You got me again, motherfucker.
damn it.
Yeah. But
Damn it!
still.
You ever get that? Like you get these messages when people like message you, they're like, "Bro, I haven't talked to you in so long, dude. It's so cool. I've been following you. Like you're
Yeah.
doing so great, man." I'm like, "Dude, thank you so much." Like, "Hey, bro, can you go buy us some weed?" Like, "God damn you! Damn it!"
I get the
like-
same thing, but with electrical work. They'll be
Oh,
they'll be
man.
like, hey,
Yeah.
do you think you could help us out? Like I'm gonna charge you the exact same. I'm not
Yeah.
giving you any benefits unless I see you at a show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Every show you come to, that's a % off.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you're at every show, though.
Well, last night, a good something that I've been around Dave my whole life, and I consider that my whole life. But last night it's been a while since I seen him play some music.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I forgot this Dave. I forgot about this Dave, dude. He's up there jamming, just like I was like,
Having
all
a good
right.
time.
And then he got off. I was like, dude. And they put this band together in like 4 weeks.
Yeah,
And how many
pretty
songs do you guys play?
It's like 11 or 10. We
Yeah,
did 10
and all
last
of them
night.
clean. Like,
Yeah.
not really. I mean, I didn't hear any mess ups.
Yeah.
You said you did
It's
like twice or something.
There's just parts. I mean, because Josh's songs are pretty simple for the most part, but he does have some complicated progressions or weird kind of bridges and stuff, and those always trip me up. And just having to learn 10 songs or 11 songs in like, we've probably been practicing them for a couple of months. But still, that's a lot, and I get them mixed up, you know.
Yeah, well,
trying
that
to do-
drummer was different. He was there only for like what 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, we had 2 rehearsals with him.
Yeah.
That's Josh's dad that played with us. But he's like old. I mean, he's a music teacher, old school. I mean, he's been playing for freaking longer than we've been alive. Or
Yeah, but you could see
close to
whenever I
it.
went and told Dave, I was like, hey man, that was really, because I was excited. I was like, man, that was really crazy. 4 weeks you guys put that together,
Yeah.
and you were like,
Ultimately.
yeah, man,
Just dusting it off.
Like I said, I felt like we did great, but I also think that I just know I'm gonna do better next time because I just didn't have as much time as I wanted to get as good as I wanted to. So
Yeah, and then Pineapple Willows did
Yeah,
great
they're
too. Man.
amazing.
It was cool to put all of it together. I wanted to put a show together, jokes and jams,
Yeah.
just to be. I was
Yeah.
like, I want to
Music
put my
and
worlds
comedy.
together, just to,
Right.
And then it was a good thing because like the story behind it was like he and 2 other guys in the other band were in a
Yeah.
band called Stolen Cable.
Mhm.
So it was like this cool little reunion. And then I was on stage again with shared a stage with Dave.
yeah, that's
And
fun.
then
awesome.
Dave Branch was up there. He was on I Wrestled a Bear once. And
Yeah.
then
Oh, we had
Cameron
Cameron.
Buckholtz does 100.5 The Cat.
Yeah.
And Ashley Watson's crazy. So like, so it all worked out. It was just like a fun show.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
I
It was a
love
good-
that.
Yeah, everyone did good. Like the comics, it's like it was like a lot of crowd work because I think that you kind of need to do. I mean, the crowd wasn't that big, so I mean, but they yeah, it was great as far as
They were engaged
Cameron
though. People
and,
were listening.
and
Yeah.
Ashley both did a lot of like just fuck with the audience, which was the bands.
Yeah.
Which
I
was-
really
it was
like
so
that
much
show
fun.
you do at Put a Cork in It. Like
Yeah.
I went
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
the
that's
last
a
one
fun
you
one.
did,
Yeah.
where just like the bucket
Improv
thing,
stuff,
or
yeah.
just having the
Oh.
audience
Mhm.
like tell you shit.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, those are fun, dude.
Yeah.
Because that's like honestly like that's what I do when I'm
Yeah.
at the bar. Like I'm not like a mic grinder. Like I'm not
Mhm.
like at every single mic every
Right.
single night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't do that.
You're kind of yeah.
But like where I really can get good practice in, is just at the bar top. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like that's why I just work like I bartend like 2 maybe 3 days a week, and I could just sit there and just fuck with people.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
kinda where you
And
get
I can
your-
run bits by them. Like anytime someone's like, "Oh, you're a comedian. Why don't you tell us your best joke?" And I'm like, "Dude, shut up.
Yeah.
Like just stick around here for a second.
Yeah.
It's like
Talk
I'm gonna
to me.
say some funny shit,
Yeah.
you know." And then and that's where I kind of like practice like doing my bits like as a conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I
That's
love that.
Well, I
so
think
much.
I think within. I mean, I've been doing it for 2 years now, and I've been. You said I think you're at 4, right? 4 years. 5 years. So I start. Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense because you were doing it 3 whenever I started.
Yeah.
Even in that, like the first. I mean, within this past year, I've noticed that you've like got more conversational.
Mhm.
I mean, the amount of improvement that you've made here, you know, is I've just been like, dang man, I know this guy.
Damn,
You
I
know?
wish other comedy clubs would notice that.
Yeah. Come on, guys, get on the JJ train.
Yeah.
No, I need to put myself out there more for sure.
Yeah, well, so that's how do you book? What do you do? How do you get in the clubs? What's your process?
Man, I mean, the club with like Bark Entertainment in Bricktown, like I've just kind of I've been there since like they
Yeah,
opened
they
that
know
club,
you.
you know. So, but I've also I've had to work like really hard to get there, and they just they'll send me like emails like quarterly.
Mhm.
Just like, hey, this is who we're booking for, or whatever, or some
Yeah.
like a last minute thing, like who's available. They sent like a
Mhm.
mass email to everyone, But other than that, man, like I haven't really done like a lot of other clubs. Like I've done like the Hyenas in Texas,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but a lot of those were like someone rented it out
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
Oh, you
had
can rent
me
them
show-
out?
Yeah, you can rent them out.
Really? How
Yeah.
much is it?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Dude, that might be the move.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can like rent out, like if you go to like the Fort Worth, that was my favorite one. Fort Worth, you can rent out the Hyenas there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like holds like 75 people,
Mhm.
and it is so dope. Like,
Nice,
and the
dude.
Fort Worth crowd is sick, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like any like comedian that I've talked to that's like from the Dallas Fort Worth area, they're like, bro,
That's the one.
you go to like the Fort Worth and Hyenas. Or the Hyenas in Fort Worth. Yeah, coffee's not yet kicked in. Words hard. The Hyenas in Fort Worth, bro. Like they're like that will make you want to quit your day job.
Yeah.
Like you'll walk out that club being like, I'm about to call my boss right now. Be
Yeah.
like, fuck you.
yeah.
I'm gonna find out about that. I'm gonna
that's
find out
cool.
about
Yeah,
it.
no,
renting
you can,
that
like,
spot
rent it out.
Yeah.
Cool.
But you always seem like, even when we were younger and you were doing music, you were really good at networking. And I think that comes across like when you're at the bar top too. I mean, I do it. I think naturally you've always been funny. Naturally you've always been like nice to talk to,
Yeah.
fun to talk to. And then you kind of just take that and you try to put it on stage.
Right.
And then try to be comfortable enough to bring yourself out.
Right.
But you've always been a networking kind of guy. Is that something
Yeah.
that comes natural? Do you think about it, or it's just like, all right, I'm in this place, I'm gonna make things happen? Like,
Oh man, I don't know. I think it's just like the vibe that I put off, man. Like I think growing up in like Ruidoso,
Mhm.
everyone is friendly with each other,
Mhm.
or for the most part. You know what I mean? Like
'Cause
just
it's
when I was
small
there last
town.
month, yeah, it's a small town. Everyone's kind and friendly, and that's just kind of how I grew up. You know what I mean? Like everyone knew everyone.
Mhm.
You know, so when I moved here, I just tried to be a good person, tried not to
Translates.
suck, and
Because it's Oklahoma is like the big small town. isn't it?
exactly,
Like-
yeah, exactly. But I don't know, man. I've always just tried to put out the energy, like being someone that someone can come up and talk to, and sometimes it sucks because there's just sometimes I'm just like I don't want to talk to this person, bro. Like, God, dude,
we had that joke about that magician who came up to you, tried to show a magic trick to you.
God, fuck that dude. God damn it.
Dude, that one's good. I dig that one.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of benefited me in a way
Mhm.
to where like back when I was like producing shows and stuff, every single venue that I had come up to me because of like the connections from so and so or so. Like it's weird. Like when we were playing music together, we were in all these venues. We were doing all kinds of different shit. Like we've been doing this for years. Like
Yeah.
people know
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
Just locally too. Yeah, I mean,
I
I
forget
think
about
people
that.
watch us. I mean, that's the thing is like you put stuff online, and I think for most musicians, even this happens, right? Like you put your stuff out there and you do it for a long time, even for a couple of years, and it's like you feel like you're not getting anywhere, but it's like people are noticing it. You know,
Yeah.
people see you. They might not, but it's like you said, even the people that matter are seeing it too. You know,
Right.
They might not. You might not know it, but and then one day they will. You know, it's like you'll get those opportunities. I think.
Well, it's like I think I've also like I've been in like that Midtown scene back in like the Midtown Deli days, and I was in like the Paseo scene,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and like that Uptown scene and stuff. So I have like all these people know me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and you stayed consistently in it.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Yeah.
you only moved to. How long were you in New York?
A year and a half.
Yeah, yeah, and then you came back.
Right.
Yeah, and so like you didn't. I mean, your pause wasn't that long, and when you came back, it was like, oh, he's back. You know,
Yeah.
this New York's attitude. You know, like
Yeah.
he's got some music.
He hates homeless people.
Even more now.
Oh
Now
my
Oklahoma has caught up with you.
Yeah.
That's
God, dude. Yeah.
But I mean, you did that, and I mean, I took a little bit of a break because I had kids and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was watching,
stage.
kind of see, you know, because
Yeah.
I was watching from Facebook.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fucking look at JJ, you know, look at him go. And then you came back, and then I saw some comedy stuff. I was like, all right, that's
Yeah.
different, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I always kind of kept up with you, you
Yeah.
know, and Zach Baker,
Yep.
and and that crew, you know. I think
Yep.
Ben Brazil. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, I remember Ben.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But everybody still kind of stuck with music was still, you know. I think Zach Baker was in the same boat as you, as he was doing covers and
Yeah,
like
doing
hotels
that
and
for
stuff
me.
like
Yeah.
that. But then he had a kid. I think he's like taking his break
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
He'll be
Heard from
back,
him in a
dude.
while,
Yeah.
actually. Honestly.
Yeah.
He was
he
my
was-
neighbor for a little bit. I think he moved.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'd see him every now and again.
Yeah.
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 It's like it's sad. It's a lot of these musicians that we used to play with. It's like, what happened to them? You know, obviously they have kids and do that stuff like that, but it's like, it's definitely a much different music scene than when we were growing up, just with the people in it.
Do you think it's better? Or
Music scene?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've heard like weird things about like the music scene's kind of been up and down. I've heard different things. There's not really that many places to like perform as much, you know. That's why like I'm a big fan of like White Rabbit.
Yeah.
White Rabbit is like Paul is really doing some good things over there, man. Like he's doing live shows every weekend.
Yeah. Well, you're doing your open mic there too.
Open mic there on Thursdays and stuff. Yeah.
That's its own grind.
Don't worry, guys. I am sticking around. No kids over here. I am team celibate. I'm team celibate. Now, there is an STD breakout in the OKC Metro. I will not be involved in this.
Is there?
Apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Man, see, that's why I love that I got married.
Yeah.
It's like I miss all that stuff.
No, you're not in the streets. The streets are treacherous, Nick.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Treacherous.
That's what I hear. I'm not on Tinder. I've never had to mess around. I made a Tinder profile or a Plenty of Fish profile a long time ago. You remember that? That was it. And this is how friendly I am. I went out with this girl. She was super nice, but we didn't click. And I was like, well, we'll just be friends forever. And so, like, I've watched her. I mean, we'll message like, hey, man, how you been? I see you had a kid. You know, beautiful family. You got a husband. I've known her for 10 years. It's the same thing at the High-Low. There was this girl there that I was just, we're standing in line at High-Low. And then, you know, you just stand in line. There's 20 people around you.
Start talking.
And I was just talking to her. I was like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, yeah, I've never seen you here. She's like, oh, yeah, da-da-da. So we're kind of talking. She's like, yeah, I'm from out of here. I'm from Montana or some shit, you know. And she's like, I was like, well, what's up? I'm in this band. Why don't you hit me up, you know, friend us on the band thing. And then we did. And then later, so I just know her now. So we just like keep in touch. She like runs this like hippie commune thing. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on.
But she seems happy. You know what I'm saying? And she's
good for you.
Environmentalist. It's just like, okay, well, I just now know this person forever. You know? Like,
dude, I had like, I'll tell you like one of my worst Tinder date stories. I was on this Tinder date. I took this girl to the bar. We're hanging out. We're chilling. We're vibing. And then one of my buddies comes up. He's hanging out too. And we end up, like, the bar shuts down. We go back over to his place to just continue to drink and have a good time, right? Well, okay, here's the thing about my friend. This dude had a huge dick. Oh, okay? And not like... It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
You know,
Some people are blessed.
You know when like guys are like, "Oh, I got a big dick," and you're like, "Yeah, dude, you're rocking a baby carrot, Kyle. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Everyone knows it." When you start hearing other girls like talking about him while he's not around, they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, that guy Max, dude, that dude's cock is huge," and you're like, "Fucking, you get like curious. I just like no diddy, dude, but I'm like, I gotta see how big this is." One night, it's like last call at the bar, and I'm going to a single stall bathroom, and he goes and he's like, bro, he's like, we got to get out of here, man. Hold on. And he's like, let's be together. And I was like, cool. And I just, and like this dude, like he looks back over to me, and he has this like look in his face, like he knows he's like packing huge cock in a world that doesn't understand. You know? And like,
what a poor guy.
So regardless, I was like, this dude's packing heat, bro. Yeah. Like, much respect to you, my guy. We go back to this dude's place, and like, you know, he goes to bed, and I was like, oh, word. So like, I kind of like slide over to the girl, and I'm like, what up? And she goes, I'm good. I was like, all right, cool. So I just passed out on the couch, you know. I wake up the next day, she's in his room, and I was like, I can't even be mad about it.
Yeah.
I was like, he was just going through a breakup, dude. Like, he needed a rebound. I just missed my shot. He caught the rebound. It's great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Sometimes you got to do that.
You got to. Yeah.
You know?
And the thing is like his life is hard.
It was hard.
You cannot get through life and know who truly loves you when you have a big dick. That's why I'm glad I don't.
Exactly. Here's where it gets better. So she gets out, and I was like, all right, well, I'm about to call an Uber and get out of here. And she's like, yeah. I was like, don't worry. He said that he could take me back home and stuff. And then he gets out of his bedroom. He goes, oh, yeah, about that. He's like, I got to go to the airport. Flying out to Denver. So see y'all later. And just dipped.
Yeah.
What?
And I was like, fuck.
Big dick
and so
energy.
she was just sitting there like, she looks back at me, and I was like, fine. I was like, I got you. So like, get in the lift. We take her all the way to her house on the south side, and then I was living way on the north side afterwards. So I had to take her south side, north side. So we drop her off. She goes, man, it was so great last night. Like, so much fun. We can hang out again soon. I was like, yeah, totally cool. Have a good night. Shut the door. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
and the girl that was driving was just like, damn, what was up with that? I was like, man, took that girl on a date last night, and then she fucked my friend. She goes, damn, dog. That sucks. And she like gave me a cigarette. I didn't even smoke. So like, I took that cigarette.
You need this.
Oh, dude, that shit was funny.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, man. So like Midtown days.
Yeah.
Midtown days. I that point in my life is very blurry. You know, but I think
honestly,
that was a lot of
drinking
fun.
a lot
I mean,
oh man,
so it's pretty much the same process as like you walk in, you as a musician, you showcase your stuff, and then sometimes you hope there's other musicians there, and you know, maybe somebody who makes a show, and then maybe they kind of put you on something.
Right.
And it's also the only way to practice. Right. I think it was me, you, Dave, John. On occasion, I try to get out there, but you know, I was chasing girls. But it was like, who else was there? Conspiracy of Angels, Zach Baker,
Joey Stone.
Joey
there.
Stone was
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Joey Stone met me on the way that him and I like connected was it was like right after my 21st birthday. So it was like the first Midtown Deli open mic
I
after
think
I
I
turned
remember
21.
that. Yeah,
I
probably
don't.
there.
That's good.
Yeah, I think I remember that
But-
night because it was specifically you were turning 21. I mean, it was.
Yeah, people were out for my
Right.
liver, dude.
Yeah.
It was a good time, but Joey was like, fuck yeah, dude, this guy's like hammered and he's
'Cause
playing Sublime. I
that-
like this dude.
Yeah.
That place had like some wild, like they had some like their own infused like fruit or whatever that they would use for the cocktails and stuff like that. And, like I just remember getting hammered every time we went there.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what, there's
Man.
some strong drinks.
There was some cool, man, there was a lot of people. It's crazy when you see like a lot of these, as you were saying, like people that you like grow up with in like a music scene or even
Yeah.
like the comedy scene that just like,
Disappear.
eventually they just like, man, just don't do it anymore. And you're like, fuck, you were so good.
I get it
Like,
though, because it's such a tough thing to keep up with. I mean, it's just
Right.
you know, it's so discouraging. I feel like I was just talking to someone last night about like we put so much work and energy and money into producing shows and trying to do this stuff, and we get almost nothing out of it. I mean, as far as monetary,
Right,
you know,
right.
You know,
It's a labor of love for
yeah,
sure.
and it's you know we do get a lot out of it in other ways, of course, but it's tough and it's hard. I feel like I don't blame anyone for just being like I gotta stop. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
really, it sucks though because I think that we do need more people that are committed to building up the scene here and making it something that where we can maybe actually make some money off of doing this stuff and entertaining people, but.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as like you're still having fun with it, like that's how I was telling like a buddy of mine in Chicago. Cause he'll hit me up and ask like stuff about like joke writing and stuff like
Yeah.
that, or and I was like, man, just have fun, just keep having fun with it. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like, the
that's
moment
the
that you're
main
not having
thing.
fun with it anymore, what's the point of doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Like yeah,
definitely
like
gonna keep
there's
that.
like comedy and music as well. Like it's a business. There's business aspects to it. You know what I mean? But all that aside, the moment you walk on stage, you got that microphone. It's fun time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
exactly. 'Cause
Whether
what the
you're-
point? What
yeah.
are we doing here? Man?
It's like you're doing a 4-minute set or a 45-minute set, dude. In that time frame, you're there to have fun. Like that's what it's all about at the end, you know. And then that's the biggest thing I love about just being an artist in general is like you're making other people like happy or
Yeah.
you're
Feel
making
good.
you're making them forget about their
You're
shitty
right,
life for a
yeah.
second. Or the thing with like comedy and stuff. And that's why I've been trying to like write more about like struggles, you know, friends passing away and
Right.
all this different shit. Because if you can find a way to make that funny, well, there's someone else in that audience that's like going through the same shit,
Exactly.
and they're like, wow, like. Yeah, I was like really sad about it, but now I could like find some sort of
Yeah.
humor and make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what our job is as artists.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's beautiful,
for
man.
sure.
That's beautiful.
I think.
But
That's
you've been
like,
producing shows. I mean, since music and then now. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges, and how do you try to overcome them?
Oof. Getting people there.
Yeah,
that's
that's the hardest
That's a
part.
big one, man. I think with producing shows, I mean, there's just so much to it. That's why I don't do it as much anymore, man. Like, kudos to you. You're doing a great job doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah,
it's
tough.
but you know, it's
yeah.
like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of like it's a job. Like you got to run that like a business. You know what I mean? Like you got to put in hours of work on just putting one show up. You know, it's like promoting and going like, what's going on in Dell City Facebook pages or some
Yeah,
shit like
right.
that. You know what I mean? And you like post your, hey guys, like we're doing this, like come out. It's just trying to get people to come to these shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, trying to get people. That's the problem with OKC right now. Is a lot of people are always like, "There's nothing to do here. It's all." I'm like,
No.
you're hanging out doing the same thing,
Yeah.
the same people,
Yeah,
the same
dude.
days,
Going to the same
every
bars.
Yeah.
time. Regardless, dude, you're doing the same shit. Branch out, do something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's why it's so cool that OKC's growing with like different concepts
Mhm.
of like different things that are opening up. I love it. It's great. But man, there's live entertainment as well.
Mhm.
There's great music venues with great local bands coming up. There's great dive bars and with decent comedians coming up. Like, you know, there's so much more to do. But that's the challenge right now for me is how do you get those people out?
Mhm.
How do
Man,
you reach those
yeah.
people?
How do you get them inspired to even want to leave? Spend
Right.
the money on a
think
babysitter,
it's-
save up some. You know, I think
That
that
part.
what I see is one, it's better than it used to be when we were growing up.
Yeah.
But it was better than the band days
Right.
because it was almost impossible, and you didn't have Facebook wasn't the utility
Yeah.
that it is now.
Right.
So you would just like show up, you put a flyer out, you go tell a few people. I'd text all my friends, I'd cold call people,
Mhm.
and
Right.
then back then. And then I would go up, and then you'd be like, "All right, good. We got 10. That's good."
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And now it's like I try to use all the same stuff. I'll cold call businesses, and I'll be like, "Hey, how you guys? Here's a couple free tickets, and then can I put a flyer up in your place?
Right.
And all your people are invited, and I'll shout you out if you show up." You know, and it's like even then that you might get like 3 people,
Right.
You know, and you do that 20 times.
You're right.
But it's
You
like
know?
that is like that. That's like the OG way of doing it. That's like the putting up flyers on like
Yeah.
street lights and stuff. And
I
like,
miss that. I used to like doing that.
dude, it's so great. And like some people are still doing that.
Yeah.
But it's like now you're battling the algorithm, and like as we're
Yeah.
speaking that right now, I forgot I had needed to like post this thing. Like you got to find like the right time to post something.
Right.
It's like you're in a constant battle with the algorithm now, and it is complete ass. Oh shit! Hold on. Sorry guys, multitasking here. All right, yeah, you got to like find like a certain way, like a certain time to post with like certain keywords in your captions, you know,
Yeah.
or a certain hashtag to do your thing.
hashtag.
And it's like, oh my god, dude! I was like, why can't I just like post this and everyone see it and it be successful?
Well, it used to.
It used to be
go
that
out
way.
to all your fans, like
Mhm.
everybody who followed you, and now you have to pay money to reach
Right.
them, and then you got to pay more money to get outside that circle.
And it's it's
Yeah.
fucking stupid. Fuck you, Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
For real.
Fuck
yeah,
you.
no, for real.
Like, it
I do
sucks.
think
Don't turn off my account.
I think a
Yeah.
part of it is trying to find because there are definitely people out there that want to be entertained and want to find these shows. It's like
Right.
how do we connect to those people? I think it's weeding because there's tons of people I think in Oklahoma that just want to stay home and don't really care. That's fine,
Yeah.
you know. But I think that they're I don't know. It's just got to be a better way to get the word out for like because we don't even have like the Gazette anymore, you know, stuff like that.
Is that not a thing anymore?
No,
No?
I don't do the Gazette because that was great because you could turn to the
Yeah,
back and then it gave a
exactly.
list
Dude,
of
like
everything that was
something
coming
where
out that
Yeah.
week.
everyone knew they could go if they wanted to find the local listings, you know,
Right.
like that just doesn't really exist anymore.
That's one of the
Oh,
reasons
damn.
why we started this and
Yeah.
doing like showcasing,
Yeah.
highlighting creatives and stuff because it's like there's nowhere to go
Yeah, it's
anymore
like-
to even
Right.
find. Remember Rocklahoma or Oklahoma Rock?
Oklahoma Rock.
Yeah.
That was, I think that
.com.
was Ryan LaCroix's thing back before he's on the radio and
Mhm.
worked for KSU and stuff, doing local music stuff. But he started that. But those are the kind of people that inspired me growing up watching those like him and Jarvix, you know, all these people that do this.
Jarvix is great,
That's
man.
like,
I love
and
that
even
dude.
James Nim, and like I talk about all the time, but that's why I do this because I watch them do, you know, it's like we need more of us that are willing to put in this work to even showcase other artists and other
Right.
creative.
Yeah.
Oh man, what you guys are doing is awesome, and I love the fact that you guys are going to the arts festivals. You're
Yeah,
going to
that's
like the
super
Blue Whale
fun.
Comedy Festival and stuff,
Yeah.
and you guys are just like trying to show people who are sitting at home,
Yeah, right, yeah.
scrolling through their phone. That's the
Mhm.
problem right now.
Mhm.
Where like back in the day, I remember when I had a Razor phone. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
booking shows off of a Razor
Yeah,
phone,
trying
dude.
to check your email.
Yeah, dude. And it's like now, and that's like my biggest problem right now is I am trying to like quit checking my phone as much.
Right.
Yeah.
I keep my phone on Do Not Disturb
Mm-hmm.
95% of the day.
Yeah.
you know, and it's just because I'm constantly just up on my phone.
Yeah.
And then like I start scrolling through shit that I go down a deep rabbit hole, and then depending on what subject I'm looking at is gonna affect my mood for the next like 2-3 hours.
That's
and
true.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I mean, even like before shows and stuff, like I'm not scrolling
you
through
definitely don't want to
Twitter
be on there.
or anything like that. Like, because Twitter is just fucking wild, dude. There's people getting shot, and then there's fucking people I know's buttholes popping up, and I'm like, whoa! And I like text them, I'm like, yo, I just saw your butthole on Twitter. They're like, yeah,
Thanks,
that's
man.
my butthole.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Get a brand new bleach job, dude. And I'm like, fucking, that's crazy, dude. 2
Can
weeks.
you show me?
Yeah, dude,
No, I had to get off of X. I had to get off that Twitter because I was like, this isn't
It's
even
just-
this isn't even real. You
Yeah,
know?
it's
But no, everything is tied to this. Like my business, I run my whole business off of
Kinda
this, and
need
then
it.
you
It's a
have to do it
necessary
for
evil.
to be a comedian. You have to fuck with it. You have to
do
mess
it.
with it. You have to try to get reels out. You have to try to get views because that's what the only physical proof you can go somewhere and be like, look, I've got 10,000
Yeah.
followers in your area.
that's it.
I can probably sell about 100 tickets. You know, and if you got proof. You know, it's like the same
Yeah.
thing. If I'm a business, I can prove how much I make to a bank and borrow money. It's the same thing. It's like, hey, I'm borrowing your goodwill, basically. Yeah,
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate
Well,
that.
it's like you get a lot of these people that, you know, got famous on TikTok like throughout the
Yeah.
pandemic and stuff, and a lot of them never did comedy before.
Yeah.
But they got millions of followers off of just doing some weird ass
It's like
character
it's
that they had.
but it's a proven concept at that point because it's
Yeah.
like when you have millions of people that love this one idea or whatever it is.
Well, it's like you said,
well,
it's their audience. So
Yeah.
now they're coming up and they're doing shows for people who want to see them
Yeah.
Yeah.
and are going to laugh at them tying their shoe.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
You know?
Sometimes, like, I mean, a lot of these people that got famous on TikTok, they're like, wait, we can do comedy clubs
Yeah.
and, you know, start selling, and they're selling out these not arenas, but they're
But-
selling out comedy clubs, and they don't really know like the art of comedy.
Oh, I
And
see.
those are the people I want to open for.
Yeah, for real. 'Cause they
Because
got the
none of us
audience.
know what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you can get in, like you got to find a way in.
It is, man. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I just
But I like your attitude of like find the fun, enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
Be ready for when it's time.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that kind of. I mean, you're always grinding, you're always working.
yeah.
And I really appreciate that about
Oh,
you, man.
thank you,
Yeah,
man. I appreciate
You're doing
it.
good. I mean, the White Rabbit, the open mic that you're doing.
Yeah.
With Paul.
Tall Paul, baby.
Tall Paul, dude, love you, Paul. Love you, man. Yeah, dude, I love that place. Yeah, I helped
it's
work
so
on
good.
that when it first started.
Yeah.
And then I kind of had to pass the job off to my buddy because it was a little bit bigger than I can manage at the time.
Right.
But dude, it was fun talking to Paul about what he was going to do with the place and
Yep.
doing the the coffee bar and everything, and then seeing it now to where it is, and you bringing the old Midtown vibe to it. I was because I was up there. I think it might have been last time or the time before that. No, it was last time. There was this musician, and we were both like, "Damn, dude, it's
Yeah.
like this feels like Midtown days."
Yeah,
you
dude.
know,
Yeah.
just one guy with a guitar, electric,
Yeah.
just going
Yeah.
off and killing it.
Yeah.
yeah, man. And I love that you're bringing that back.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I just want to like, dude. That's all I really wanted to do is just help. I want to give people stage time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to help people grow. And that was the one thing when I was like producing shows and stuff, dude. It's like, yeah, I'd put someone on the lineup that I was like, all right, they're gonna be a killer. Like this is gonna be good. But then I was like, I want to help the people out that are putting in the work that I'm
Yeah.
seeing that are like, they're hitting the mics up, like they're actually, like they're at the club, they're like writing, they're like trying to like get better at it. I'm like, I want to give you guys
Focus.
a chance to like spread your legs a little bit, you know? No, spread your legs a little.
I was like, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, spread your legs. Okay, yeah, let's get there. So we know the impetus of why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. What was the term I'm looking for? God, it's so
Spread your
early in the morning. spread your wings a little bit, not your legs.
Stretch your
Spread your
legs.
spread your legs a little bit.
Yeah.
And shit on stage. God,
That was beautiful. Thank you for that.
No doubt.
But yeah,
man.
spread your
So-
legs a little
yeah,
bit.
Spread your legs a little bit.
And
God, that's gonna be a funny clip. That's gonna be the most controversial clip of this whole thing.
Yeah.
People are gonna be like, "Oh, damn, dude!" Like, The
But-
controversy surrounding JJ.
Yeah, but you know how important it is to get 10 minutes.
Yeah.
To
just
even know what it feels
yeah,
like.
to be able to
You
get
know?
that.
And
to
then
be
after you get 30, and then you're like, 5 minutes ain't shit.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Anytime someone's like, can you just do 5 minutes? I'm like, that's it.
Yeah, they're not even going to know who I am.
Yeah,
Like, I won't even be able to
exactly.
introduce myself.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to help, man. I just wanted to give people stage time and get better. If you were taking it seriously, I wanted to help you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was like my whole mission on doing that for a little bit. And but also like, yeah, getting my stage time in and you know, getting better at what I was doing. And you know, I always look at like comedy and stuff in like basketball analogies. I'm a big Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant fan. I grew up watching those dudes. Their mentality of just always just staying ready
Right.
for things. Like and honestly, I've had to do that. Like multiple times I've gotten calls like, hey, can you be here in like 10 minutes? And I'm like, yeah, let me put pants on. Be right there. You know?
Yeah.
I've gotten those
Right.
calls before. You know, I've gotten to open for like really cool acts. You know what I mean? But shit, there was one time I was just sitting at the bar at the comedy club, just
yeah.
working on a joke, and then they're like, hey, you have 5 minutes to get ready. And I was like threw a chicken wing down. I was like, let's go.
Let's go.
Like,
yeah.
Is
I'll
this
pay-
because somebody didn't show up, or
Yeah.
they're just
Yeah. But like, yeah, sometimes there's
Be
just like
available.
miscommunications.
Yeah.
Always like, dude, like throughout the days, like if there's like a one-off show or something like that happening, like I'm not doing shit. Like I'm not smoking. I'm not tripping
Oh,
on
yeah.
mushrooms. I'm waiting.
Right.
And after like 6:30, I'm like, they don't need me.
yeah, you know the cutoff.
me eat
time.
these shrooms.
Yeah. Hey, it's about
But you
to
make
get
yourself
weird.
available, and you even live like 5 seconds away.
Yeah.
You're like
Yeah.
walking distance,
Yeah,
right?
6 seconds. But,
Six.
yeah.
Oh, not bad, not bad, not bad. I'm a
6
little bit
seconds,
fatter.
yeah.
Takes me a little longer.
No, man, I'm very grateful for just honestly just everything that I've gotten so far. Anything that I have coming up, like any show that I get on, dude, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like I'm grateful. It's easy to like scroll through social media. Another reason why I tried not to get on it as much is like you see someone, you like deep down you get excited. You're like, fuck yeah, dude, that's so dope. But there's also a part of you that I'm trying to kill. That is just like, but why didn't I get that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what
See.
made them? Blah, blah, and it's just like I'm like, oh, I don't like that side.
Yeah.
I don't like that, and so I'm just like, I just can't get on that.
I
you
think
know what
that thing
mean?
creeps up. I mean, it does it for me,
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't honor it. You
Yeah.
know? I'm just like, why are you here?
Yeah.
You know? But it does. It
I think
exists. I think it
it's-
exists in everybody.
Because I think it's a part of like this self-doubt almost, like which I think is very important. I think that I have tons of self-doubt in myself that's like, but that also drives you to be better. You
Right.
know? If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be where I'm at, I think. So
Right,
I think that's a part of it though, because it's like, you're thinking like, I should, you know, it's like, why? I would think of something like that, like I need to work harder so that I can get that opportunity because
Yeah.
it's like I'm not
Exactly.
working hard enough or something.
Right.
Yeah. Or did you even ask?
Yeah.
That's another. I mean, a lot of times it's just like, hey, there's an old mentality that's in like construction that I grew up around, which was like, if I'm good enough, my boss is going to give me a raise.
Right.
Yeah.
That mentality is dead,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because you're
it
not going to
really
get a
doesn't.
raise unless you say something or quit.
Mhm.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And I think it's the same thing with opportunities. It's like you can't just go and be like, why didn't that guy ask me? It's like, well, you didn't let him know you were available, you
Right.
know? Or maybe, I don't know. You know, but for the most part, it's
still.
in my situation, I don't really like going to ask
Because
because I
you
don't have
kind
time.
of have to put yourself. You have to put yourself in front of people for them
Yeah.
to even remember that you exist.
Somebody who does a really good job of that is Chrissy Isles. Have you met?
Yeah.
I love Chrissy.
Dude,
yeah.
she's awesome.
She's
But she
amazing.
is diligent. I mean, a few times she's been like, hey, put me on anything you got. I was
Yeah.
like, well, I'm like booked for a little bit. I don't have anything, you
But
know.
she'll
Right.
like continually
Yeah.
say that. you
Yeah,
know?
and she
You
will,
can't just
and
say it
in a
once.
nice way. She's
Yeah.
not badgering.
But yeah, it's
She's
like,
like, hey, if you got anything,
Mhm.
you know. Or
Yeah.
like another time, she tagged me and Rough Tail Brewery
Yeah, trying
and
to
was
get on.
like, hey, I ran out of these beers. Next time you have a show, let me know so I can get up there and do a set, and I'm gonna get some more of these beers.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's
I was
pretty
like, that's
That's the
smart.
thing, it's like
And I
she's-
tagged him. I was like, yeah, what's up, Rough Tail?
Yeah.
It's like
Chrissy's
you're-
trying to get some drink.
she's,
Yeah.
like creating her own opportunities. Just
Yeah.
it's like, well, see what happens.
Yeah, let it be
Yeah.
known.
No,
I don't see
absolutely.
any
That's
shame.
what
in
I
that.
think
Yeah.
about with this thing, man. It's like I was saying this last week on the podcast, but it's like, man, if you want to be on the show, like hit me up because you'll go to the top of the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because there's tons of people that I want to reach out and that we need to ask and try to get over here, but it's like, and like half those people might not really care, but it's like if you put yourself in front of me, then I'm gonna be like, well, this person cares about this.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
the same thing with shows. It's like, I think if you make yourself known that you care about, like Chrissy with Rough Tales, like she likes that place, she wants to be there, you know.
Right,
yeah,
right.
and she's a big fan of herself. I think
Yeah.
that's a thing that you got to remember is
Yeah.
like if you expect other
Be your
people
own
to be a
best
fan of you,
You
you
gotta
got to be a fan of you.
Mhm.
You got to be what you enjoy. You know,
Right.
trying to like listen to your fucking self and be like, okay, this is
Yeah.
I'm going where I want to go, and if I'm
Right.
not, I want to change it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to do my art the way I want to do it.
There's this really great movie. It's called The Opening Act, and it's Cedric the Entertainer. Who is it? Neil Brennan's in it as
nice.
well. And I can't remember what his name is, dude. He's an Asian comic. Super funny.
I think
But
I may know this, because there's several like comedy movies similar, I'm
Right.
sure, but I don't know if I've seen this one. But
this movie is so great.
Yeah.
Because it shows like the do's and don'ts of like when
Mhm.
you work like a weekend at a comedy club.
mhm.
And it's like it's gonna show you like anything bad that could happen is gonna happen in that movie.
Nice.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
kind of like
That's
Degrassi.
awesome. Yeah.
Like anything bad that happens at a high school, it happened at that
Didn't
high
Drake
school.
get out of his wheelchair?
Yeah,
That-
no, he did. He's not like us. But like there's a scene in that movie. Like the guy, he goes up and he just kind of bombs the first couple times. Like he like fucks up shit. Like he's like, oh no, I'm just not doing that great. And he goes and he has lunch with Cedric the Entertainer, who's like the headliner that he's opening for. And there's this line in there where he says like, you're in this industry, you know, like you're always gonna be told no. You're gonna shows that you get booked on, you're gonna get fired on. He's like, you're gonna see one of your friends that you think that you're funnier than, that's getting an opportunity that you think that you should have. That's always gonna happen in this industry. He's like, but none of that matters. All that's gonna happen is you have to believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, guys. You just gotta continue to believe in yourself, and things will happen.
What you need to know. Hell yeah, dude. Well, speaking of etiquette, I did have a couple questions just because I'm a little unclear
Yeah.
about how that all works. But whenever you go into the green room, what's your etiquette? What's your go? Like you see, you know, I mean, they do let you in the green room,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, yeah. And
Sometimes they don't. Every headliner's let me in so
Oh,
far.
okay. Yeah. So what's your etiquette? What do you do?
The first thing I do is I get there before everyone else and I take a fat shit.
Show dominance, guys.
I assert my dominance in that green room.
Yeah.
No, me, what I kind of do is I'm always there. Like, I'm always the first one there. So when they come in, I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm JJ. You know, like, is there any way that you want me to bring you up? I like to learn their
Yeah.
credits, you know, just like, I like to do that. And then just kind of chill. I'm just kind of like feed off their energy a little bit. Because sometimes they're like, man, I've been on a plane all day. I'm super tired.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just try not to, like, talk to them so much. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's something
yeah.
about, like the green room is, like, a sacred place of, like, where you can just, like, chill and kind of, like, get your head right. Like, this is a good example. Last night, I bartended, and it was, like, fucking busy with a bunch of Tennessee fans. And it was just, like, like, chaotic.
Yeah.
Then I had to go right next door and host this hot wings eating contest. And everyone comes up to me like, and I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I just need to, like,
Yeah, you need to
like,
decompress.
I need to decompress for a 2nd. And Robin Williams always said, if you needed to decompress, the best way to do it, bathroom stall.
Yeah.
So I just went and just decompress. So I'm going off track here a little bit. Coffee's kicking in now, guys. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
This podcast is gonna be 4 more hours. No, but yeah, I just kind of feel the vibe and just don't ask too many questions. Is what I've learned. You know, like don't just like bombard them with shit, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Ask if they need anything.
Yeah. You just have to
Just be a
kinda-
good hang.
You just kind of
Yeah.
have to like take, don't. I think just hang back a little, kind of
Yeah.
observe and kind of see how the vibe is.
You want to keep it positive in there
Yeah.
too. Like, don't go in there talking about like, oh man, like my best friend's dog died. It's
Yeah.
really sad.
For
Like, I mean, like, don't say like weird shit like that. You know,
Yeah.
because everyone's it's just like. You've been like in a room where like everyone's having a good time and then one person just like says something like fucking outlandish
Yeah.
and you're like
Yeah.
fucking what? And it just like really just kills the mood of the room.
Yeah, I'm gonna go outside.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna just go out here. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, no, I love that. I love that. I I think I have this the golden retriever energy.
Yeah.
So as soon as I meet people, I'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what's your name? Well,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
a new friend, you know."
Yeah.
And so I have to watch myself on that now because it is. I mean, even before open mic at Bricktown, people are kind of like in their heads, they're kind of working on stuff, but I'm like,
I
you
do
know?
that
Yeah.
a lot because I go to a lot of the comedy shows. Obviously, I'm there doing photos, and I don't think about it from that perspective. That like a lot of these people are like getting ready to go on. I've learned now not to like. I don't really try to bother anyone, or if especially if they look like they're like in their own head and trying to get ready.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and I'll start having a conversation. I'm like, oh shit, I shouldn't probably be fucking with them. I was just like, I'm gonna go over here, talk to these people. But like some people aren't like that. They just don't care. They want to chat and hang out.
Well, that helps me.
So it's
That gets
different.
rid of my jitters.
Yeah.
If I'm
Yeah.
joking around and we're talking shit, then
Oh, yeah.
it helps me a lot.
Well, it's like,
honestly.
especially in the green room, everyone wants to have fun. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like when I was with Josh Blue was just a fucking good time in the green room, dude. All he was doing, he just had his little Bluetooth speaker.
Oh,
We were
yeah,
listening to like the
partying.
Gorillas, dude. He was just like dancing around, dude. It was just fun,
Yeah.
dude. But every headliner is different. You know what I mean? Especially like in between shows. You know, you do the first show. Afterwards, you do the meet and greet. So many people and stuff, and there's like you go back and there's like 10 minutes, or like, all right, well we're all just gonna calm down and just kind of be chill, you know, and get ready for the next show.
Reset.
You know?
Yeah.
When I worked at the nightclub for a couple of years, man, like you have 4 hours of just like all that shit's going on, and then you're like, yeah, this is crazy. And lights come on, music's off, everyone's out, and then we just sat in silence. And it was so nice. Anytime like someone would like pull out like a Bluetooth speaker to start playing some more music, everyone would just scold them. Don't you do it.
We need the silence.
Yeah. Dude, I used to work in this little like smoke room spot, and then after we would get done, like clubs close, a couple bartenders come in, everyone would just sit there, we'd light up a joint, I was like, what's up? What's up? Good night? Yeah, cool. That's what we would do. And then like one girl that used to work with us would walk in and be like, man, you would not believe the night we had. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, we would snap on her, dude. Oh, you need that decompression time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, nice, man. All right. So let's lay in this plane a little bit, so you can get on back to your hustling.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I'm interested in your writing process. What do you do? How do you go from thought to joke?
Man, it is constantly evolving.
Really?
That
Okay.
is the realest thing. Like, I sometimes like I'll get in these like moods where I'm like, all right, I'm waking up at this time, and then between like this time frame, I'm gonna write, you know, and I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna work on this part, and I could do that for a minute, but at a certain point, I burn myself out, and I'm like, God, I just like don't want to do that. Other times, man, it'll just come to you. Like I'll have like an idea that just like pops in. I walk a lot. I walk my dog a lot.
Yeah.
And that's where I do a lot of my writing. Is I just like listen to old sets and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I can make this better. Like add this tag or like cut this out. You know, that's like a good editing process. I don't know, man. That's a good. It's such a hard question to answer because I don't even know what my writing
it's a
process is.
It's a
but
little ethereal, man.
I've kind of gotten to the point, like I like to wake up and like get on X, pass through the buttholes, and find like some like current event thing, and just like
Yeah.
kind of like write a joke like that.
Oh, nice.
To just kind of get
Just kind of
warmed
get it,
up,
like just kind of warm it
yeah.
up a little bit, you know. But I really just try to like dive deeper into me, like what makes me stand out from any other comedian. You know what I mean? Like that's
Kind of your perspective.
like what can I talk about like personally in my life, like things that have happened in my life that I can connect with the audience on. Because like anyone can go up. There's a difference between a comic and a comedian. Like the comic is like someone who can like go up and just say anything about like current events.
Yeah.
But the problem with like when you do current event jokes, you're gonna make this one like P Diddy joke, right? There's over 1,000 other people that are making that exact same joke, and
That's a
it
good
might be
point.
better or it might be worse. You know what I mean? I mean that's why it's just I don't know. If I do a current event bit, I just like make it a clip and just like put it up and I never do it again.
I think that if you do, I mean, I would think that you probably want to like try to figure out how to make it your own, put your own perspective on something that only you could tell that joke or something. I mean,
yes,
if you can.
Yeah. That's like the difference between like a comic and a comedian, and that's just from like books that I've read.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But
I never heard that. So.
Honestly, because like I mean, yeah, it's cool to like make those like current event jokes and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with it by any means.
I think it's good to even because it helps you connect and at least to initially make a joke like that to connect with.
But
the
if that's
audience.
like your entire like act,
like Jay Leno.
Julie Drake told me this really really great story, and she was hosting the shows back when she like first started. She was hosting a show. And there was a feature and the headliner, right? And the feature murdered, bro. She was like, he was so funny, like made people like fucking piss their pants. It was great. And then after the show, like everyone's doing the meet and greet, and everyone was coming up to her, and they're going to the headliner, but no one went up to the feature. And she's like, why? As a headliner, like, why is that? And he's like, well, like, yeah, he was funny, but they couldn't connect with him like they connected with us. You know what I mean? So that's, I don't know, man. It's like, who are you? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like you go up on stage, you're funny, you said some funny things that anyone can just make a meme of afterwards.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some like, what made you stand out? What makes the audience remember you more?
Yeah.
That's something that I've been searching for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some comics on TikTok, and like they're funny, but it irks my soul anytime that in every single one of their bits starts with this, have you guys heard? Or did you guys see?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever done? And I'm like, fucking, you know what you should do? Take a bath of the toaster, motherfucker. Kidding,
Because you could just say it as a statement. You don't have to ask.
Yeah, you don't have to ask.
Yeah, and then put your perspective on it.
That's the thing. It's like when people like ask questions too much in their set, like it kind of like bugs me a little bit.
I do a little bit. It's just,
but like there's ways to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do it to get a joke because I'll be like, is anybody here a rescue?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I love that joke, by the way.
That's a pretty
I like that
pretty
joke.
good one, yeah.
Brother of adoption.
What's up? You're adopted too?
Yeah.
What's up? We're both wanted. You can say that to the other one, my other family.
But yeah, just answer the original question is the writing process is constantly evolving, man. I don't have like a set. Sometimes I'll just be like going to sleep, and I'm like, and I'm like, oh, that's an idea, and I have to like get up and write it down real quick. Because if I go to sleep, I'm gonna forget it. I've had a lot of jokes that would have made me get on Netflix. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to go have nightmares about Drake being my cousin again. Yeah. Instead. And I woke up and now all I think about was, I just had a nightmare about Drake being my cousin. And I forgot that joke. Like, shit.
I'm going to write that down, though. That's a pretty good one. Like,
that's
Drake being my cousin. All right, last thing. What was I going to say? Sorry.
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang? Still relevant.
Oh, it's never not relevant, dude.
What do you got going in the future? What's the plans? What is success to you?
Success, man. Honestly, I think I've already done it.
Oh,
you know
that's
what I
beautiful.
mean? Like
yeah.
when it comes down to it, like yes, I want to do bigger things. I want the Netflix special. You know what I mean? I want to sell out arenas. I want to do this stuff. I want to be one of the biggest comedians in the world. But at the end of the day, I'm happy where I'm at now. You know what I mean? Like, I still get to fucking do comedy, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I still get booking emails. I still get asked to do shows. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes are they bar shows where, like, 4 people show up? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I gave those 4 people the best I got.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, man. I'm very grateful for, as I said earlier, like, I'm grateful for everything that I've got going on, man. Like, you know, I got, the podcast is going the most inconsistently, or the most consistent, inconsistent podcast. Wait, I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm not as consistent with it. I need to get better about that.
But you've been doing it for a while now.
Yeah.
The clips coming out are funny, too. That's, like, the best part.
that's really just trying to gain that social media following as well. JJ Wood Comedy. But yeah, I want to travel. I'm starting to travel a lot more. I think November 9th, I'll be in Grand Junction, Colorado. I'm headlining a show up there.
Nice.
And I'm real grateful for that because I've never been to Colorado.
Yeah.
And like, so comedy is like taking me to places I've never been before.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm very grateful for that. You know, I've built up a really great network. I've worked with a lot of amazing comics that have already made it or up and comers and stuff. I'm doing a couple shows with Drew Nickens in November. He's the new Kill Tony regular.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I met him. I did a show with him in Dallas in March, and he was the sweetest dude. Like, he was so kind. He was so funny, and then I saw that he got on Kill Tony, and I don't know if you guys have seen his like first Kill Tony episode, but it's incredible.
Nice.
Like, I don't really watch that show like as much as
Right.
religiously as other people, but he got up, he fucking killed it. And then they just like, you know what? We're gonna keep bringing him back up. Anytime like someone sucked, they brought him back up, and he did another minute, and it was so cool. And I'm watching this dude, and I'm like, God, I was so happy for that guy. And so then he had hit me up and he asked me to I do these shows with him. So, got that. Let's see, what was it November 3rd? I'll be with Sean Fogelson, who's the one mailman. He's a TikTok dude. Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited about that. Yeah, man. I mean, jjwoodcomedy.com is the best place to find all of my dates, you know? So have you ever had those people that are like, hey, bro, hey, I'm actually going to make a sketch about this. But, like, people are like, hey, man, personally text us and let us know when you have a show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's cool. But, like, you know, I have a website, and I post about it on my social media. They're like, yeah, but like, hey, man,
Yeah.
personally message
Can
me.
you baby me?
Yeah. Will you just, hey, treat me like a 5-year-old here, and then tell us when and where to be, okay?
Yeah.
And then we may or may not show up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
right.
like, yo, that's crazy, okay? And they're like, yo, bro, y'all see, like, Lil Yachty's coming to town. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's crazy. You know Lil Yachty? He personally texted you and told you that he was coming to OKC. That's so crazy, bro. Fuck you.
Well, JJ, man, we really appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much for coming out here
Dude,
early in the morning.
Yeah, man.
And
It's definitely been like a long. You know, we definitely wanted to have you on forever. We haven't had guests in a while,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
but we're definitely happy you get to be our first guest back in the new podcast setup.
We're starting off with a bang, baby.
Hell
yeah, baby.
I
Yeah,
love it, man. I love what you guys are doing, dude.
Thanks.
You too, man. We
Keep
love you
doing
too,
it.
man. Fucking,
Keep
we're gonna be
doing
doing
it.
this together for a long time.
Yeah.
Damn right, baby.
Yeah.
Hell
it.
yeah. Friendship.
Friendship. Yay.
Thanks, guys. Check out JJ Wood at
JJ Wood Comedy. JJWoodComedy.com. I've got 83 fire subscribers on YouTube right now, guys. And we can bump this up to 10,000 by the end of this episode. We're gonna make this work. It's gonna happen. JJ Wood Comedy on all social media platforms. Watch the new segment Between You, Me, and This Tree coming out
Yeah,
whenever
watch
I
that.
fucking do it.
I like it.
That's good. Hey, and you're about to get the Rhythm and Wit bump too. So
Hell yeah.
don't worry. There's 2 people
Is
coming
there
your
fentanyl
way.
in it?
Not this time.
Not this time.
But you will
Shit.
get sleepy. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.